Hey everyone, and welcome to the channel. Is my 24 Harley-Davidson Street Glide a keeper? Now that may be a strange question to ask, considering I've only owned this motorcycle for just over 3 months. But stay tuned and I'll give you the answer to that question. First of all, let me give you a little backstory. I've been riding motorcycles since I was 10 years old. But I have spent the last little over 20 years on American-made V-twins, Harley-Davidsons and Indians. And I did spend 4.5 years exclusively on an Indian before purchasing this Harley-Davidson Street Glide. And as a matter of fact, I recently did a video entitled, "Do I Miss Owning an Indian Motorcycle?" And you can go back and find that video. And the answer to that question is, well, yes, I do miss owning an Indian motorcycle because of some of the features. There are some features where the Indian outshines the Harley-Davidson. For me, the three primary features would be suspension, electric windshield, and a far better sound system. Now, I can give you a long list of areas where I think the Harley-Davidson Street Glide would outshine the Indian Chieftain. So that's kind of a trade-off as far as my love for Indian. Now, if you know, my budget permits, maybe when I pay off my truck, you know, I may go back and buy another Indian. But the question is this Harley a keeper? And another thing that has influenced that decision is the fact that my Harley-Davidson, my 24 Harley-Davidson Street Glide, went in the shop 3 times in just under 3 months, or about 3 months, with warranty work. All 3 times the issue was this new infotainment system. Twice it was the radio or the amplifier, no sound coming out of the speakers. The 3rd time it was the navigation. Now, I do want to praise my local Harley-Davidson dealership. Raging Bull Harley-Davidson in Durham, North Carolina. Service department went out of their way to take care of me. And I can say the same thing about my dealership back in Texas. Living in Texas, I dealt with Cowboy Harley-Davidson in Beaumont, Texas. This is not the road I intended to turn down. This may be a dead end. I guess I should have went another street farther. But so my bike went in 3 times, and you know, 3 times in 3 months, a little frustrating. But again, my local dealership did everything they could to take care of me. As you can tell, I did end up on a dead-end street. It turn this rig around. And the Harley corporate rep had been in the week that they had my bike working, trying to get the navigation going. The Harley rep, I think, was in there more than once that week, and they ended up just sending me a whole brand new infotainment head unit. So hopefully that resolved the problem. But again, you know, those were 2 things that, okay, I did consider trading back. I did. I thought, man, I missed that suspension and electric windshield, mostly on the Indian. The sound system too was much better. And here, you know, 3 times in 3 months. But in spite of both of those considerations, my decision is, or my view is, the Harley-Davidson 24 Street Glide for me is a keeper. Now, if I continue to have issues with this infotainment system or something else, you know, my mind could change. My mind changes from day to day. So I do say it's a keeper. I love the look. First upgrade that Harley-Davidson has done to their touring bikes as far as looks since 2014 with the Rushmore project. I really think they did a good job. I think the Road Glide Visual changes were more dramatic than the Street Glide. The Street Glide change is far more subtle, but it has a lot sportier, edgier look, both the Street Glide and the Road Glide. So I love the looks. The looks caught my attention on the Street Glide. But that motor, man, I love the motor on this Harley-Davidson. And I think it's fun comparing Harley and Indian. For a good while, a long time really, I would say that Indian was the leader in the torque wars, but not anymore. If you compare this to a Chieftain with the 116 has 126 foot-pounds of torque. This 117 Harley has 130 foot-pounds of torque, and the Harley has more horsepower than the Chieftain. So you've got, I think, gorgeous looks with this Harley-Davidson. A powerful motor. The first time Harley finally put ride modes, which Indian's been doing forever, but you put this thing in sport mode and it will scoot, and it's still smooth though. It's not herky-jerky, but I love the looks. I love the motor. I mentioned suspension with the Indian. They did upgrade this suspension on this bike. I bought a Street Glide in 2019 with that 2 inches of travel on the rear. This motorcycle has 3 inches of travel and a vast improvement. Plus you can adjust preload on both of the rear shocks. I don't feel the need to change the suspension. Now I'd love to upgrade to Wilbur's, but they're fairly expensive, and I've already done a 498 mile day on this motorcycle. With this suspension, I definitely, if I had kept my 19 Street Glide, I know I would have at some point had upgraded the suspension, but the suspension is really good on this bike. And then Harley blows Indian out of the water when it comes to heat management. That was my biggest criticism of my Indian Roadmaster, was the heat management. So when you figure in improved suspension, better heat management, this one has a sportier feel. Of course, it's 100 pounds lighter than my Roadmaster was. But looks, performance, comfort, and really, I mean, I've had some glitches obviously with my infotainment system, this new Skyline OS. But I'm actually really enjoying the technology. I was really leery about buying a... Get on your side of the road, Bubba. Oh, you're going to wave? I wasn't waving. I was saying, what are you doing? Hey, but this is South Carolina. We like to wave. Of course, he obviously realized, I guess, he was on my side of the road. Speaking of North Carolina, man, look at these curves. This is a beautiful state. I mean, absolutely beautiful. My family and I have been here a little over a year from the great state of Texas. And don't get me wrong, I miss the Republic of Texas, but North Carolina is an incredible place to live and to serve. My wife and I are both Methodist pastors. And man, the people up here, oh my goodness. I say up here, I guess this is still considered the South, but it's farther north than where I lived. Definitely, this is northeast of where I lived in Texas. But the people up here are incredible. My church members are great. My wife's church members are great. Just the local folks. I don't care where you go. Customer service, everything. It's just a really nice place to live. But anyway, I have wandered off. My mind does that often. But you can go back to the Street Glide. This is a keeper. Like I said, my budget will allow. At some point, odds are I'll buy another Indian. If I do, I really ideally would like for it to be a second bike. When I bought my first Indian, I kept my Harley-Davidson, had the best of both worlds. I love these curves. We didn't have this in Southeast Texas. Everything was flat and straight. There's a little twisties here. So yeah, this is a keeper. I really like the bike. Now, if I continue to have issues, my mind can be changed, but my experience with Harley-Davidson, if you get a good dealership, they'll take care of you before and during the sale, which Again, I can say that about Raging Bull Harley-Davidson in Durham, North Carolina. But I really think a good dealership will take care of you after the sale. Matter of fact, I was in the dealership recently praising the service department to the sales manager, and yeah, he pointed out that the sales staff may sell that first bike, but the second bike sold by the dealership is sold by the service department. Let me turn left here and see where this goes. I love just wandering around on these back country roads, because with navigation I don't have to know where I'm at. I just pull up the navigation and get home. So yeah, this bike's a keeper. You know, I'm fickle. You may watch a video from me at some point down the road. This bike may be gone. I may be back on an Indian. But as of right now, you know, my plan is to keep this bike. It's fun. It handles well. Has a very sporty feel. It performs well. I love the look. Overall, I think Harley-Davidson did a really good job. So I want to know what you ride, and is it a keeper? Oh my goodness, I got a tight turn here. Better pay attention. I was looking at that cabin there. Flat River, beautiful countryside. So anyway, be sure and comment what you ride. Is it a long-term keeper for you? If you are going to buy another bike at some point, what are you interested in? If you have a previous generation Street Glide or Road Glide, are you considering trading for a 2024, or before you know it, the 2025s will be hitting the showroom floors? Be sure and like and subscribe and comment. I think when I get back to the house, I'll just do a really quick walk around. Of course, I'm sure most all of you have seen the new Street Glide, but I ended up going with black and chrome, and it's a little dirty, but I do ride it every day, and in just over 3 months I have 4,485 miles. So I do ride. I'm not just an owner but a rider. And again, you know, is your bike a keeper? Is it something you expect to ride, you know, for another 5 years, or are you in the market for something else? I would you know, like to know. And remember, if you like to ride as much as you can, because one day we're all going to be too old to ride.